We can also calculate line integrals of scalar functions in 3D, in R3. And this is when, suppose that we're given a curve in space, r of t equals x of t, y of t, and z of t, and we want to integrate our scalar function over this curve. T is between a and b, and our function is a function in R4 that's defined by those three variables. So the integral, the line integral over our curve C of our function is equal to integral from t equals a to t equals b of our function evaluated at each point on the curve times the speed times a little time differential, and we know that this r magnitude of r prime of t dt is our arc length differential ds. So let's try an example, and because it's difficult for us to picture functions in R4, let's consider that our function is actually a linear mass density function, and we want to find the mass of the helix. So at every point of the helix, we want to measure the mass, given that we know the mass density function. So we know mass per unit, linear unit. So let's start first by, so our steps are that we want to make sure that our function, that our curve is parametrized, and we've already been given a parametrized curve. So we really want to find the integral over our curve of our linear mass density function x squared plus y squared plus z squared ds. And as I already mentioned, r of t is already given to us as a parametrized curve. So our helix from 0 to 2 pi, whose components are cosine t, sine t, and t. All right, we will need to find our arc length differential, and to do that, we'll need the velocity function, the velocity of our curve, and its magnitude. So we need speed. So finding the velocity is taking the derivative of our curve, so we'll have a negative sine t, cosine t, and 1. And to find the speed, we'll need the magnitude of our velocity function, and that will be the square root of sine squared t plus cosine squared t plus 1. And we can see here that we can use our Pythagorean identity that sine squared t plus cosine squared t is equal to 1. So our speed is the square root of 2. All right, the next thing that we need to do is we need to write our integrand function in terms of t. So we need to express x squared plus y squared plus z squared in terms of t. And we're evaluating the function at points on our curve, so it makes sense to plug in the x, y, and z components of our vector function, r of t. So this is going to be cosine squared t plus sine squared t. Those are the corresponding x and y coordinates of r of t, plus z squared, which will give us a t squared. And using our Pythagorean identity, this just gives us the function 1 plus t squared. And so now we can set up our integral over the curve of the function x squared plus y squared plus z squared, which was our linear mass density function, or linear mass density function, ds equals, in terms of t will go from 0 to 2 pi. Our function in terms of t is written as 1 plus t squared, and our arc length differential is the square root of 2 dt. All right, we're ready to evaluate. So we can factor out the square root of 2, and we have the integral from 0 to 2 pi of 1 plus t squared dt. And this is just a power rule, so we can keep our root 2 on the outside, and then we have a t plus t cubed over 3 from 0 to 2 pi. And when we put in 2 pi in place of t, we'll get the square root of 2 times 2 pi plus 8 pi cubed over 3. And when we put in 0, we'll just get 0. And so there's our total mass. So we can, if we want, factor out another pi on the outside and write this as 2 plus 8 pi squared over 3. And this will give us the total mass of the helix from 0 to 2 pi.